Y'all ready for a women's WarGames match a year before NXT did it in 2019? This matchup was for Pro Wrestling Eve and it took place at the first ever Wrestle Queendom on May 5th, 2018 in York Hall in London, England. The match consists of squad goals, which consists of Addie Starr, current Deadlock Pro Wrestling Women's World Champion Emi Sakura, former Eve International Champion and former Eve Tag Team Champion Laura Di Matteo, and three-time Eve Champion and three-time Eve Tag Team Champion Rhea O'Reilly, taking on the Deserving, who are Blue Nikita, former Eve Tag Team Champion Charlie Evans, former Eve International and former AEW Women's World Champion Jamie Hayter, and Jayla Dark. First team to come out for the match is Deserving, who to start to walk down the ring, while meanwhile I can't hear the commentators because the music is way too damn loud. Jamie Hayter flips off a fan at ringside, and Charlie Evans doesn't like this guy's Fight Club Pro hat and tosses it into the crowd. Squad Goals comes out and they got some pretty hard entrance music. The match starts to break down before it can even begin, and as security tries to hold back both of the teams before it can kick off, this security is pretty ass, I'm not gonna lie. They all run to the other side and try brawling again, but then they all get broken up. Our teams nominate their first participants, and after 5 minutes, another competitor will join the match. Jayla Dark and Rhea try fighting each other again, but we are just now patiently awaiting who's going to start this match. It's really security just trying to hold the teams back from one another, and before I realize, Emi Sakura is the first one in the ring for squad goals. Blue Nikita gets into the ring and then hesitates, but then she spits on Rhea O'Reilly on the outside. Emi Sakura realizes she's stuck in a cage and then she starts to hype the crowd up. Nikita and Emi start doing some chain wrestling and a test of power, and Sakura is upset that she can't get out of the cage. Blue with some titty chops on Sakura, a spin kick to the gut, and then a neck breaker to follow, and then she goes for the pin. Obviously there's no pins because everyone isn't in the match, but also this match follows WCW WarGames rules, where it's surrender or submission for the win. Nikita drops Emi with a backpack facebuster, and then Sakura gets back up and starts getting her comeback, but Nikita shuts her down quickly. Emi with a drop toe hold into the ropes, and then she just grinds Nikita's face into the cage. Emi locks on the surfboard stretch, and then Sakura drops Nikita face first on the middle rope. Emi looks for a boot, but Nikita moves and pulls her in between the ropes and cage with her. She puts Emi's arms through the cage, and the Deserving start pulling her arm in between. The referee and security try to pull them back, but once again the security sucks, and Jamie Hayter and Jayla Dark get one last yank. Countdown ends, and now we need to do a coin toss. Why did we not do this before? The Deserving wins the advantage, and Charlie Evans is on site with the attack on Sakura in the corner. Emi is a badass and starts manhandling both Nikita and Charlie. Emi pulls in Charlie and gives her a double underhook backbreaker. Soon after, she gives Blue a sleeper facebuster on Evans.
Doing so, and you're right, it gave the ability for Emi Sakura to actually... Wait, what is she doing? I have never... She's tying them up in a submission move. What is... Oh my gosh! A giant...
Yeah, I had to show that whole clip because I don't think I can describe this. The numbers game catches up to Sakura, and then the Deserving gives Sakura a double suplex. Countdown ends again, and here comes Laura Di Matteo for squad goals, who gives a drop kick to Nikita and starts laying into Charlie with some clotheslines and then a big enziguri. Di Matteo looks for a wheelbarrow facebuster, but Evans counters and drops Matteo with a sit-out facebuster instead. I think that the timer is now down to 2 minutes of wrestler, which they never mentioned, but at least we'll get more wrestlers sooner. Emi nails Evans with a right hand, and then Di Matteo with a combination to knock down Evans. Time to get elite as Jamie Hayter walks into the ring for the next entry. Hayter ended Di Matteo's 1-year-long undefeated streak as these two channel that rage and start wailing away on each other. Matteo hits an uppercut on Hayter, but Hayter hits harder with a forearm and then gives Di Matteo a Falcon Arrow. Emi Sakura gets set into the corner and then eats a knee from Jamie, and then to follow she hits an exploder suplex into the corner on the Japanese legend. She's not finished and gives Sakura a running knee. Cool combination from the Deserving as Charlie hits a sidewalk backbreaker on Laura Di Matteo, but then Hayter runs across with a huge knee. The countdown goes bird noises, and Addie Starr gets into the ring and she tosses Hayter face first into the cage and then gives Nikita a big roundhouse. Nikita tosses Hayter again face first into the cage and then collides her and Nikita's heads together. Double submission from Starr and Sakura, which I thought was going to be a double Russian leg sweep. Next up is Jayla Dark as she gets into the ring and starts clearing out the squad. Nothing happens for a little bit until Jayla Dark starts ascending and climbing the cage, where she plants herself on the cage and delivers a cannonball senton onto all of the competitors into the match. Double flapjack into the cage on Jayla, and then we get to the final competitor. Rhea O'Reilly climbs the cage all the way up to the top and hits a flying crossbody onto everyone.
Auto Parts.
The timer is still going for some reason.
There's no more countdown, ignore the countdown!
When everyone comes to, Charlie nails a running boot on Riley and Jayla Dark hits a K2 on Addie Starr. All of Squad Goals has their faces pushed against the cage, and then all of a sudden everyone starts locking in a submission hold on their opponents. Eventually the faces get back into the match and Jayla Dark hits a botched K2 on Riley, and then Starr hits a sliding elbow on Dark, which allows Evans to hit a hammerlock flatliner on Addie. DiMatteo jumps in with a code breaker on Charlie, and then Jamie Hayter stomps her head in, and then Emmy with so much power hits a double palm strike on Hayter. Blue Nikita powers Sakura up on her shoulders and hits an air raid crash, and then O'Reilly woos in for a butterfly DDT. Riley locks Nikita in the ankle lock, but the deserving break it up. It looks like we're gonna get a double Tower of Doom from opposite corners, but we only get one, and then shortly after, we get what we asked for. All of the deserving are trapped between the ropes in the cage, and Emi Sakura hits a running crossbody onto all of her opponents. O'Reilly and Star hit draping DDTs on Dark and Evans. Double dropkick from DiMatteo and Sakura. And now the faces all have submission holds locked in on the deserving, and they all tap out. Team Squad Goals have won the first ever women's War Games. Want more matches from Pro Wrestling Eve? Want any of these 8 wrestlers matches covered?